What up, guys? Today's motorcycle question of the day is, should I start up my motorcycle over the winter time to charge up my battery? The answer is no. And there's 4 reasons why you should not start your motorcycle over the winter for the sole purpose of charging your battery. I'm going to get into all 4 reasons. My name is Adrian from YouMotorcycle, and we will be right back after this. Bam! Welcome back, guys. The very first reason why you should not be starting your motorcycle during the wintertime for the sole purpose of charging your battery is because you're not actually charging it. What does that mean? Well, okay. Motorcycles, old ones, used to use magnetos instead of alternators, and it's true that your motorcycle does probably have an alternator just like a car, but much, much smaller. Everything on a bike is just smaller and less powerful and less big. And a car might charge at idle. If you were to hook up one of these multimeters to it, you might see the voltage go up even if the car is just at idle. However, if you have a bike at idle, you turn it on, you let it idle, you plug in your multimeter, you come back to it 10 minutes later, you plug in your multimeter again, it's going to show you the exact same voltage as before. Until you start to rev up your battery enough, whatever the RPMs are on your particular motorcycle, maybe it's 3,000 RPMs, that's when you're going to actually start charging the bike back up. You have to reach a certain amount of RPMs before your motorcycle is going to actually charge the battery, and your charging system just won't do that at idle. That's not how it works. So now you might be thinking, okay, well, all I gotta do is just cold start my motorcycle and just rev the hell out of it. As long as I'm doing that, it'll charge my battery up. And you're absolutely right. And that's a really good thing to do if you really hate your motorcycle. But if you love your motorcycle, let me explain why you shouldn't do that. This whole motor thing right here, it has its own lubrication system. It's got oil that sits kind of here on the other side of the bike, and that oil flows through everything because inside of there you got a lot of moving metal pieces, and you don't want there to be metal on metal without lubrication because you can just damage the hell and just metal shrapnel everywhere. You don't want that. But the problem is your lubrication system will not run 100% until your bike is at its optimal temperature, and when you start a motorcycle up in the cold, it's going to take at least a couple minutes, good few minutes before it is actually operating 100%. And in those few minutes, you're really just prematurely wearing out the inside of your motor a little bit. And even if it's just a little bit, you probably don't want to do that because there's a lot more reasons why you shouldn't be starting your bike during the winter for the sole purpose of charging your battery. So let's get right into reason number 3. Think about this. This is an internal combustion engine, right? Let me get on this side. Internal combustion engine. And it's really cold. So what happens when you get something really cold and then you make combustion, which is like making explosions, and you're making fire in there? Well, you're going from really cold to really hot. You end up creating condensation. So I did a lot of research on this. I got an answer from a scientific source, which is totally not Wikipedia. And basically what it said in here was, hold on. As the engine warms up, moisture from the air that's inside your crankcase will cause condensation. That's freaking water inside your motor. If you turn off your motorcycle before it has reached and maintained its optimal temperature for a decent period of time, that water inside your engine will not evaporate. The water will stay in your engine. That's what you're doing when you're cold starting your bike. You're introducing water to inside your engine, which is not what you want. Instead, it does not evaporate. Instead, it becomes this weird white cloudiness that you see in engine oil, where it sticks to your oil fill cap or your oil dipstick, or creates goop inside your valve cover. I don't like working inside of engines. That's outside of my wheelhouse and my comfort zone, but I know that goop inside of your valve cover, whatever the hell that means, is not a good thing. And if you're going to be constantly cold starting your motorcycle, that's what you're going to get, and that's not good. Reason number 4 why you should not start your motorcycle during the winter for the sole purpose of recharging your battery is this. Think about, here, I got one right here. This is a crappy no-name brand battery. I do not recommend it at all. Think of your battery like a piggy bank. And every time that you want to start up your battery, you're taking power, you're going, and you're putting that power into the bike. But if you just leave it idle, you're not putting power back into the battery. The next time, 2 weeks later, you're putting power out, you're putting power out, and you're putting power out. But if you're not riding the thing or revving the hell out of it, you're not putting power back in, which leaves you with an empty battery, empty bank account. And now you gotta go buy another battery or charge it up. In which case, what you really need is Battery Tender Jr. They're like $30. I will link to the cheapest one that I can find in the little description box down below. These things are super easy. You literally just plug it in, and there's like little clamps, and you just clamp One side to the positive, one side to the negative. You maybe live in a condo. I used to live in a condo and there's no way I was going to run like a 100-foot extension cord. To take your battery out of your bike, guys, it's just like one screw here, one screw here, 1, 2. That's it. If you got a screwdriver, you can take your battery out, bring it inside your condo, bring it inside your apartment, charge up your battery over the winter. These things are like $30. They're not that much. I mean, sometimes they're even like 25 bucks. I'll link to the cheapest one I can find. Just buy one. If your battery ever dies, you're going to need it anyway, so you may as well just have it before you need it. Compared to buying a new battery, it's like a fraction of the cost. It pays for itself in the first year alone. Yada, yada, yada. Buy the damn thing. Okay, moving on. There's going to be a bunch of guys who are going to be like, look, I'm getting all heated again. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, that you should never start your motorcycle during the winter. There's a ton of reasons why. I get that everything going on in here it's all moving parts, and there's a whole lot of fluids in all of these hoses, and you want to keep things moving. You want to keep pushing the bike up and back. You want to make sure you're not getting flat spots on the tires. I got a whole article on how to properly winterize your motorcycle. I will link to that in the description box down below too. What I'm getting at is there are certainly good reasons why you should turn on your motorcycle over the winter, but doing it for the sole purpose of charging your battery when you could just get one of these, it's not a very good reason, and it could have a lot of negative consequences for your bike. So even if it's an old beat up thing like this, treat it better. Your bike deserves better. Save yourself having to buy a new battery and potentially doing damage to stuff, and just buy the damn charger. Going in March, it'll be my first year trying to make a full-time living just doing motorcycle related stuff. So I really appreciate your support. If you guys want to support me, not asking for any money, hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. That to me would mean a lot. It would help YouTube know that people actually appreciate the content that I'm putting out there, which makes them more likely to recommend my videos to other people, which means that my channel grows and then maybe my bank account grows one day. So that would be really cool. I would appreciate you guys' support. If you have any questions, this whole video will start off as a reader question. So if you guys have questions, write me a little comment with what your question is down below. If it's anything motorcycle related, I will answer the shit out of it. I'll post a video letting you guys know what my answers are, what my thoughts are. If I don't know what I'm talking about, guess what? I got a lot of friends who are a lot smarter than me. I will ask them. They will tell me. I will tell you. Free motorcycle advice. Can't argue with that. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like the video, if you hate it. Leave me a question. I'm very lonely, so please talk to me. Thank you guys so much. Ride safe. I'm Adrian from YouMotorcycle.com. Bye-bye! This is what happens when you have way too much caffeine and then you go out in the garage and you're home alone and you're just making motorcycle videos and working on bikes and the gasoline fumes are just all right.